When a motorcycle with a heavy two-cylinder thunders over the streets, almost everyone suspects it is a Harley. But arch-rival Indian has been resurrected, the even older US brand.
If we talk about American motorcycles with a V2 engine, then we think first of Harley-Davidson. But there's another brand in the USA that is even 2 years older. In 1901, Indian started to build motorcycles. Then there was a pause, and in 1953, bankruptcy. The brand was resurrected in 2011. I'm going to ride an Indian for the first time, the entry model Scout, and I'm madly curious to see what it has. Amongst other things, it should be sovereign in second gear, can easily set off uphill, as here. I'll try this right now.
Helmet fastened, gloves on, and go. In second gear, only using idle as acceleration and soulful relaxed in coupling, well noted. And indeed, the high-torque 1.1-liter V2 confidently sets the almost 260 kilograms in motion. The Indian Scout has passed the first test. From 1901, Indian motorcycles are considered as being beautiful and reliable, not only in the US. Just 1 year later, Indian Active Racing starts to operate, and sometimes with both founders in the saddle. Often rivals on Harley-Davidsons had to congratulate when once again Indian was victorious. Legendary, the speed records later made into a film starring Anthony Hopkins. In the First and Second World Wars, the military banked on the reliable bikes from Indian. With models like the Scout, the brand rises to become the largest motorcycle brand in the world. The loss of military contracts to Harley in 1953 brings a temporary end to the legendary original American motorcycle brand. Since 2011, Indian shines again, almost to its former glory, and under control of the Polaris Group, fortunes rapidly rise. The seventh revival appears to be working, and in addition to the sister brand Victory, Bernard Painter relies on the strong attraction of the Indian. Bernard Painter.
Indian is a brand that is really well known, and known since 1901, especially with motorcyclists. Now with the rebirth under Polaris, the importance gets really greater by the hour. We sell leather jackets from Indian to Harley-Davidson riders. We have a strong demand, and the motorcycles are extremely well liked. I see that naturally for our business, but it is very clear. The numbers are really doubling. Then always when something new comes out, all the curious people which buy the product are immediately satisfied, and that spreads around, of course. Nevertheless, especially of course from the Harley-Davidson corner, a very strong influx, and really such as a snowball effect. You can almost say people are glad that Indian now exists again. The sale figures are growing massively. The main reason, it is special. It is not found on every street corner. It is ranked superior to Harley-Davidson. We have realized this from the customer. It's the earlier brand with the more interesting history, but ultimately it is actually just the alternative. Technical reasons is also relatively simple. It's the modern motorcycle. It is a new design made smart. With regard to the history and stories, also technically very cleverly designed the whole thing. From the material quality and workmanship, I would say quite cheekily, also better than Harley-Davidson. We have found that the Scout is especially very popular with the ladies because it is relatively low-level, compact, squat motorcycle. Due to the relatively sporty engine having a lot of power, which one does not credit the vehicle with at first glance, but the Scout is greatly appreciated through its design.
Classic round instruments inside a digital display. The fact that the appearance of the Indian Scout is well received is immediately believed by the mid-price cruisers. The mix of classic design and latest technology works harmoniously. Abundant chrome and fine leather exude luxury flair. The 1.1-liter V2 looks good and handles equally as well. In 1901, the year the Indian was first launched, it was a powerhouse with 102 horsepower. A lot of thrust, and a characteristic V2 sound. High quality material and perfect workmanship wherever you look. The quality of the Indian Scout convinces, and the design is attractive. Due to the good performance and high quality of the entire bike, the price of an Indian Scout is appropriate. Indian dealer Bernhard Peintner knows what he has with it.
The Scout is very special. The value is sensational, demand is much greater than of what they can produce. The Scout is really in trend.
We can broadly share the same obvious enthusiasm for the Indian as the dealer for his products. The chassis is sufficiently agile. Cruiser-typical low spring ways at the back mean that the discs carry quite a lot. The small 12.5-gallon tank is compensated by low consumption, but a range of up to 250 kilometers is still limited. The inclined angle space convinces. The Scout is a cruiser with which one not only has fun on straight highways, but also in curves when overtaking. Even for tall people on long journeys, one sits as relaxed as in a leather armchair. Time for a summary.
Indian Motorcycles, the motorcycle brand from 1901, has been resurrected for the 7th time, and I have a feeling that this time it might work. The technology seems promising. The engine of the Indian Scout is a real stunner. The chassis is also faultless. What bothers me about this machine is the extreme steering angle, which I would have imagined differently. And now I have to say one more thing, if you're already comparing with Harley-Davidson. If I have a Remus accessory exhaust system on this machine, then it should already sound a little crisper, but still, Arnold Schwarzenegger, George Clooney, or even Mark Wahlberg should soon be driving an Indian, and perhaps that will happen.
So Indians hunting their arch rivals goes on.